Hey kids, this is Pulsory Vision coming to you live from Ch23 Studios in my mom's basement with another reading of Rings of Dust. This is going to be chapter 23, part 2, and I'm just going to dive into it. If you guys want to know more about this project, agproject.io, which is probably actually over here, and if you guys want to read the book yourself, the whole thing, then you can just jump onto our Telegram t.me/anti-gravity saga and go into the pinned messages and you'll find the link to this on GitHub. It is a public record, so you don't have to listen to me. If you do listen to me, I suggest you speed it up, maybe 1.25. We got Crypto Cat in the house and Red Squirrel. How's it going, guys? We had a crazy day yesterday in our ecosystem with a lot of a big jackpot and a lot of fun stuff. So check it out. Check it out if you are so inclined. Let's do this right here. And I'm just going to read and have to take notes right now because I've got Claude working on something else. There we go. So the last thing that happened was we had Marcus pulling the trigger, Vance's forehead. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, yeah, but Sharon died and she came back. That's true. Maybe Vance comes back as a crazy biotic robot. No, he doesn't. He stays dead, unfortunately. So here we go. He stood in the quiet office for a moment, the television lights still moving, and pulled out his phone. He ran through the expression 3 times before he dialed. Blank face, then his eyes going liquid, then the catch of the voice, then releasing. He ran it again. Better. He placed the call. Yeah, hi. The voice came out frantic, fractured and high, and very convincing. This is Marcus Vergold at Alpha Corp. There's been a shooting, and I don't. Oh my gosh! Please hurry. He reported the intruder. He reported the threat. He reported fearing for his life, which had not for a moment been true, and did so in the specific register of a man to whom fear was a sound he could produce without feeling. When he hung up, he let the expression go. He sat on the edge of his desk in the quiet and looked at nothing for a moment. Then he started laughing. The laughter built slowly and became genuine and finally bent him double, hugging his ribs when it started to hurt. It was the best he had felt all week. He sat with it until it was done. Then he straightened, smoothed his shirt, and went back to the screens. There was still a great deal of work to do. The building was in Los Angeles. This is not where Emily had expected it to be. She had expected something offshore, something in a country without convenient jurisdiction, something that matched the scale of what she had been dismantling for the last 2 months. But Rachel, who'd been precise about everything else, had said Los Angeles. A converted office building in the tech corridor west of downtown. Alpha's primary domestic operations center, which ran under a subsidiary name that appeared in no public registry. The kind of building that looked from the street like any other glass and steel tenant floor. The kind of building that a 15-year relationship between Alpha and the Federation Council had kept invisible. The Dement task force had been in position since 4 a.m. 6 agents in civilian clothes, 2 in Federation uniform, Red coordinating with Dement's team by comms from a vehicle a block east. Rachel had arranged her own people on the perimeter. Emily did not know how many, and Sami had stopped explaining things she didn't need to know for operational reasons. She trusted, implicitly now. Emily was in the lobby. She had been in the lobby for 8 minutes. The lobby had been a security desk and a billing directory and a coffee cart that had not opened yet. The directory listed tenants by floor number and suite letter, but not by name. Emily had counted 14 floors. She knew which floor she was going to. Sami had handled Marcus's assistant. Emily did not know the details. Sami had described it in 3 sentences at the motel the night before, each sentence shorter than the last. And when she asked a follow-up, he had said, "That's the brief," and gone back to checking the comms relay. What she understood was that the assistant had cooperated, that the cooperation had required a difficult conversation, and that Sami had conducted it with the clipped efficiency of a man who does not enjoy the work but does not leave it undone. The access code Emily used to enter the building came from that conversation. The elevator opened. She got in. The 14th floor was not what it looked like from the street. The corridor was long and low lit, the carpet the exact shade of gray that said, "We chose this color to be invisible." The air had the quality of filtered, recycled air that had been filtered and recycled for years. Not unpleasant, just neutral. The smell of a place that had been designed to have no smell. The suite at the far end of the corridor had no signage. Marcus was inside. She knew this because Sami had confirmed it 12 minutes ago from the vehicle-mounted thermal scanner that the collective team had reposted at 3:30, and because the building security logs, which Dement's task force had been monitoring since midnight, showed Marcus's biometric entry at 11:47 p.m. He had been there all night. This was not unusual. The task force had flagged it as evidence that Marcus was aware something was moving. He had retreated to a secure location, which meant he had an informant and was evaluating it here. He had not tried to run. Emily thought about this and she walked the corridor. Marcus did not run. Marcus had been the most powerful civilian in the Federation's unofficial hierarchy for 15 years. And powerful men of a certain kind did not run. They assessed, they adapted, they made calls. They had contingencies for contingencies. He had not, Emily thought, made a contingency for her. She used the access code. The door opened. The suite was empty. She stood in the doorway for 3 seconds. The desk was there, a tablet face down on the surface, a chair pushed back the precise distance of a man who had stood up without rushing. The window faced east, and the early morning light came through it in an angular way of a sun that hadn't fully risen, turning the empty chair precisely against the glass. He had been there. He had been here. The air still had the quality of a room a person had recently been in. Emily looked at the tablet. She did not touch it. She took out a radio. "He's gone," she said. 14th floor, East Suite. He was here. He's not here now. A pause. Then Sami's voice. "Secondary exit flag on the east side. Sub-level. Red is on it." Emily stood in the empty room. She looked at the chair. She looked at the window. The streets below were beginning to animate with the first deliveries, the lights of buildings coming on one by one as the sun came up. She said, "He's not running." Sami said, "I know." "He's making a call." "I know." She was in the lobby when Dement's coordinator phone rang. The coordinator, a man named Yoon, who'd had the quality of someone who'd been in coordination rooms for 20 years and had stopped being surprised by anything, looked at the screen. He looked at Emily. "It's for you." He put it on speaker and set it on the lobby desk. The line was clear. No static, no compression. "Close. We're using something very good." "Emily," Marcus said. She looked at the phone. Sami was 3 feet away watching the street. Unit stepped back. "Marcus," she said. "I know Dement's task force has been in position since 4. His voice had the particular quality it always had, controlled, unhurried. "I know the proof from Panama went into the parallel network 47 hours ago. It's been in about 200,000 people's hands since yesterday morning." A pause. "Your scientist is thorough. Where are you?" "Somewhere quiet." A pause. "I'll be in a position to be found when I'm ready to be found, which will be before the preliminary hearing. I'm not going to make Dement chase me around the planet. I'm just not going to let him dictate the terms of my first conversation with his counsel. You're going to cooperate. I'm going to give a complete account." He said it the way he said most things, without warmth, without evasion, not because I've had a change of heart. I want to be clear about that. I'm not contrite. I'm realistic. The machine is done, and a complete account is the only leverage I have left. The officers who took specific directives, I can name them. The procurement lines, I can document them. The alpha side of the flywheel arrangement, I have records going back 8 years. The Mint will want those. Rachel will want the ones that go further. You understand she'll use them. Of course she will. That's what Rachel does. That's what I always did. The difference between Rachel and me is that the thing she's building has a better design than the thing I built. A pause. I should have seen that sooner. He said it the way a person says something they've already arrived at privately, the sound of a conclusion being stated aloud for the first time. He had been there for a while. Your brother, Marcus said. Is he alive? Yes. The woman, Ch23. Yes. The pause that followed was brief, the kind that closes an account rather than opens one. Chen, he said, my assistant. She'll be protected. Yes. Good. He was quiet for a moment. When your brother gets back, tell him he was right. Tell him he was the right choice. Not for the reasons I chose him, for the reasons it turned out he was. The line ended. All right, we're going to cut this one as a real short one right here because I'm going to write down a couple things to cover some questions that I have that are missing here. I recommended 0.5 speed so Max sounds like a retarded drunk. Oh, fun stuff. Darker matter project, like I said, go to agproject.io, wherever that is. Let me actually drop this. Yeah, agproject.io. I think it's over here. Either way, go there, connect your wallet, and enjoy playing along at home with your favorite cryptocurrency on Pulse Chain, Darker Matter token, and the fuel cells, the NFTs. So yeah, this is part 2. It's really short, and we'll have number 3 as soon as we can get it out to you guys. Thanks for joining us, and have a great weekend. Ciao.